Hello there and welcome to the Visa Nerd. My name is Anne. I'm the creator of this platform, so I guess you can call me Anne the Visa Nerd. Through this channel, I share content about travel, visa, and immigration. So if you're curious and you find that interesting, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any information that I have coming your way. So we finally made it to 2021, thank goodness. And as we start this year, I felt like I would just answer some of the random questions that I've been getting from a few subscribers and a few followers that I have. And I guess that's because a few people have been a little bit curious about, what experiences I've had. So I've been a lover of travel. Initially, I used to do a lot of local travel within Kenya. Basically all major touristic parts of Kenya, I think I have mostly covered. But since 2014, I finally started doing international travel. And honestly, it's been non-stop ever since. And majority of those travels, actually with the exception of just 3, have been international travel, so out of African continent. So yes, definitely I know travel not only from a personal traveler point of view, but also as somebody that has been in the industry for over 10 years now. So I've just compiled some of the questions that I've been getting through my Instagram. If you're not following me, please go check out my IG account. It's at the Visa Nerd. So let's get right into it. The first question is, worst travel destination? Oh, okay. For me, the one that absolutely stands out for me, I think I've been there twice, is definitely South Sudan. For me, it's just not been a great travel destination. So obviously for me, it was not a touristic destination. I'd actually gone there for work on several occasions, I think twice or thrice thereabout. But I just genuinely just don't like it there. And some of the experiences when you land in JKA, I've experienced 2 different kind of feelings. The first one was, oh my goodness, like I'm back in Kenya, we're so backward, we're so underdeveloped, like it's so much posh out there. And on the contrary, there are also other places that I've been to and I'm like, oh my God, I'm finally home. I had been, I'm never leaving home, it's safe and I want to, stay here. So honestly, those are the feelings that I always used to get when I land back from South Sudan. So that's my worst travel destination. Which is the easiest visa you've ever gotten? This is very simple. It has to be Dubai. That's the easiest visa anybody will ever get, period. Longest visa validity that you've ever been granted has to be Canada. Because you get, the validity is basically as long as your passport is valid. So if you have a new passport and it's valid for 10 years, that means if you get a Canadian visa, it will also be valid for those 10 years up to a month before your passport expiry. So for me, I think I got more than 7 years, if I'm not wrong. It's still valid up until 2024. So yeah, that's the longest visa that I've gotten. The next question is, what is your worst airline experience? Actually, I don't think I have any worst airline experience. Majority of the carriers that I choose to travel with usually are, good quality of airlines. And honestly, I have not had any issues with any of those carriers. Maybe the only one that I felt like, from what I can remember, is maybe it's not bad. It's actually really good. Just that, being African, you have a level of expectation when it comes to international travel and food. And for me, China Southern didn't do much, mostly because I know it was an international trip because I was coming from China, going into Thailand, Bangkok. And it was just, I don't know, was it a 2-hour flight or plus or minus 30 minutes? I can't really remember. But I remember we're just not being served like hot foods. It was mostly cold cuts or, fruits, not really meat. So, but it's a 2.5 hour flight if I'm not wrong. So I mean, it wasn't a deal breaker, but all I know is that I remembered not to travel China Southern when it comes to a long haul flight. I don't know if it's different, but that just kind of registered in my mind. And honestly, for a worst airline experience, that's not bad at all. So I guess it's been pretty smooth sailing, if that's honestly my worst airline experience. Clearly, I've not had any terrible airline experience. What's the most you've ever spent applying for a visa? Okay. My most expensive visa was definitely the 2-year multiple entry visa for UK. That was the most expensive that I've ever spent to get a visa. And I actually spent $400 for the 2-year multiple entry visa. It's so expensive. That's equivalent to 40,000 plus Kenya shillings for just that visa. And was it worth it? Genuinely, I don't know. I had been, frequently going to UK back and forth. So I felt like, I'd taken the 6-month over and over, and I felt like, okay, you know what, let me just take the 2-year one, and I don't have to always keep going back to the embassy. But that was the most expensive one that I've ever gotten. What was the toughest visa interview that I've ever been to? This is a no-brainer. It's definitely the US visa. That was the most thorough interview that I've ever been to. And I've been to so many of these visa interviews, but the US one is the one that they are extremely thorough, and they ask you a lot of questions, more so if you're a single woman traveling alone. Did I get the visa? Of course I did. I mean, yeah, but they question a lot, and that was the most thorough interview that I've been to. The other ones have been, honestly, a piece of cake. Worst airport experience. I feel like Istanbul wasn't so friendly, in my opinion. It's actually known for not being the best, or rather having the best customer service. I don't know if that has changed, but my personal opinion and my personal experience is that they're not so nice at the airport in Istanbul, honestly. And it's not just it's a few people have given that feedback as well. So they tend to be a little bit rude, and but it's nothing serious. It's nothing major. It's, just push to have it your way. If it's information that you want, just push and get the information, and because it's your right. What's the longest layover that you've ever had? It's definitely Hamad International Airport in Qatar. Guys, I was stuck there for close to 12 hours. That's not funny, because once you can't be at the airport without a visa for that country for more than 12 hours. And so I actually had been there for more than 11, nearing the 12th hour mark. And I guess this is clearly the worst experience that I had. But honestly, I'm to blame, because cheap is expensive. I was such a cheapskate. I used to take the most restrictive flight ever and the cheapest. And then it was high season during that time. I'd booked way in advance, and I knew it was a very cheap but very restrictive ticket. And I also knew that I would always get like least priority when it comes to boarding, because usually that's how they do. If you don't know, during high season, airlines tend to overbook flights, and therefore during that particular day, the flights I was coming from, I can't remember where I was coming from, but I was stuck. I can't remember which country I was coming from, but I was traveling through Qatar Airways. And so I went through Hamad International Airport to catch now my return flight to Nairobi, because I was coming from the trip. I was coming back home. And then I got bounced off of 2 flights. I got bumped off because they had overbooked, and I had least priority because mine was the cheapest ticket, so I didn't really have a lot of priority compared to people who've paid premium economy, business class, and other full rate economy class tickets. I was just getting bumped off. So I missed 2 flights while I kept being like rescheduled to, you know, the next flight. So I waited for 5 hours for the next flight, got bumped off. I had to wait another, I don't know how many hours. So I really stayed in the airport. And at some point now I was like, you know, out of options. And I was like, okay, so now what can I do? So I got, instead of waiting for now the next day's Nairobi flight, because I think they had like 2 or 3 flights in a day from Doha to Nairobi. You know, it's a while back, so I can't really remember the exact details, but yeah, so I could not stay at the airport any longer. I had to exit, you know, as a matter of priority. So what happened was, they asked me, do you want to just go to Tanzania and just, you know, get yourself, it's better to get yourself to an East African country rather than still stay at the airport, because you can't get a visa while you're transiting or while you're traveling already. If it's to get a visa, you ought to have gotten it before you left your country, you know, before you started the whole trip. So I was really out of options, and I just asked them to now reschedule my flight, or rather reroute my flight to Dar es Salaam. And then from Dar es Salaam, I had to buy myself a ticket on Kenya Airways to Nairobi. And I mean, that was still safe, because at least in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania, as a Kenyan, I didn't need a visa. So that's what happened. So I boarded a flight, got to Tanzania, and then got a KQ ticket, Kenya Airways ticket to Nairobi. And of course, I spent an extra 35. I can't remember how much did I spend. You know, as a last minute ticket, I think I spent 35,000, to be honest, just to board that flight. But you know, I didn't have a lot of options then, so that was a bummer. So I was being cheap, and I just ended up wasting 35,000. Cheap is expensive, guys. So is it worth it? No. No, just take a flight that, you know, you have confirmation of a seat, you know, as opposed to an unconfirmed ticket that is very, very, very cheap, but you're inconvenienced, especially during high season. So did I stop being a cheapskate? Well, sometimes yes. I'm either totally a cheapskate or exactly the opposite, you know, splurging. I can never really have balance, and that's something that I need to work on. What was your best international travel destination? Ooh. My best international travel, hands down, guys, hands down, has got to be the Caribbean island. Ooh, the best. And I mean the best, guys. I've traveled, but I've never had the experience that I had in the Caribbean islands, specifically in Dominican Republic, specifically Punta Cana. Guys, let me tell you, if there's anything that I can tell that I've genuinely had first class, and I mean not Kempinski, not, you know, I mean luxury, is definitely booking that trip. First of all, I traveled business class on Emirates on the A380, which is the Dreamliner. Honey, when it was still new, it was everything. I mean, Emirates is really good, even on economy class. But now business, I was feeling really extra. And it was I just decided, like, this, I'm gonna just splurge and I'm gonna treat myself, and I'm gonna take one trip that I'll live to sing for the rest of my life. So I booked the business class trip. I booked the business class tickets on Emirates, and I booked one of the most luxurious, internationally, not by Kenyan standards, honey, internationally, I booked the most luxurious hotel ever, the Hard Rock Punta Cana. Ooh, that resort, guys, it's over 150 acres of the whole resort. It's huge. You cannot cover it. You actually go with the what are they, golf carts? From dinner to your hotel, you have to use it. Otherwise you will walk just to get to your hotel room. It can be that bad, guys. It's in total, it's over 120 acres of one resort. 120 acres. Like, that resort has 1.5 kilometers of the sea beachfront. You walk 1.5 kilometers, all the resort basically at the sea. Oh, it's amazing. It's that huge, guys, and that's a big deal. I think here in Mombasa, we're used to walking like, 100 meters, 200 meters. If it's really, really big, 300 meters of the seafront. Here, we're talking 1.5 kilometers of just one resort touching the Caribbean island beachfront. It's huge. And if you're not really into the ocean, you're more of a pool guy. Guys, there were 13 pools in total. 13 swimming pools, and they were different. There were those for adults only, there were those for children friendly, like kids friendly. There were those ones that always had music, and we would have like different parties going on. It was non-stop, partying, and we would have foam parties. It was just lit. And there are also those ones that would have like bars in the swimming pool. Like, you'd have guys serving you drinks literally while they're in the pool, and the bartender with his swimsuit would just swim and serve you your drinks. It was, yeah. Anyway, there were different pools. There were 13 different pools. Some of them very private. Some were for strictly couples only. Some were for the elderly. Some were, there were 13 pools in total. And for me, one of the best parts was definitely the fact that they had 9 restaurants and 5 snack bars. 9 restaurants, guys. There was Brazilian restaurant, Mexican restaurants, Caribbean, Italian. They had Mediterranean. They had what else? And some of them were a la carte. Others were buffet, and there were also this really exotic one. I can't remember what it was called, but that one was strictly by appointment, and you have to book it in advance, like more than 24 hours in advance. It was the best of them all. And the food, okay, let's just say, guys, I ate non-stop, okay, and it's amazing quality food. Amazing. And the snack bars, like, you would have sandwich bars, you would have like taco bars, you would have ice cream bars, you would have like different bars. I think there were in total like 5 of them, other than the 9 restaurants. That resort was so extra. We could even get a personal assistant to like make your reservations for dinner for you in advance. They could schedule activities for you. Like, I remember we had so many activities. We had horseback riding, we had camelback riding, we had snorkeling. The snorkeling, we'd even gone for a yacht tour. Guys, if only I was recording these things then. If only. I don't know why I never used to take pictures, or okay, I have a few pictures actually, but genuinely I never really took a lot of pictures, because my goodness, the experiences that we went through there. And we were a group because we were going for a friend's destination wedding, and we were like not less than 15, possibly 20 people in total. And guys, the activities that we did, we went dancing in the yacht. Why didn't I record these things? Will I go back there? Definitely I will. And the amenities that you could get, guys, we had 5. Did I mention that we had 5 nightclubs in the property? 5 nightclubs. The night entertainment was booming, blazing. Yeah, we had 5 clubs within the hotel. Some of them you had to make a reservation and even do an entrance fee, but others were open to, like, us who are residents, basically, because we all had a band. And We were clubbing. We were clubbing non-stop. It was a non-stop party there. Like all through the day activities. Guys, we went swimming with the sharks. Sharks. And they're not like in cages or anything. No, it's in some part of the ocean that is like caged, so they can't go into the ocean. But now you get into there and like you swim with them. And I know what you guys, I know what I'm talking about. It's just that, yes, they're sharks and I know this, but guys, the catch is all of them were toothless. Toothless sharks, all of them, they had their teeth taken out. So they're harmless, basically. They're like, if you think about it, they're like dolphins now because they can't do anything. But yes, I swam with sharks. I touched a shark, but they're very fast. Like the minute you kind of go close to it, it's gone. But that was fascinating. For me, that was really fascinating. Guys, the experiences that we had. The best destination, hands down. It's not one of these situations where you go to Dubai, you go to South Africa, you go to even US or anywhere in Europe and you're like, oh, I had an amazing Caribbean. And especially that resort, it was everything. Okay, let's talk finances now. You know, such experiences don't come cheap. I'll just say that. I've never been rich, guys, never been rich, but I have pulled a rich stunt move, and honestly that was one of it, because for that resort we were spending 250, actually more than 250,000 Kenya shillings for just 1 week, because it was seven days, 6 nights in total. Guys, 2,500 US dollars, 25k Kenya shillings for just 1 week. And that's per person sharing too. That's my bit, okay? So in a room, we're talking 500k gone, okay? And for a business class Emirates, you do the math. I guess in 1 week, I parted with 5,000 US dollars, 500,000 Kenya shillings. That was definitely the most expensive trip that I've ever been on, ever. Will I spend that much on a trip? What money? What money? What money? You know, COVID has affected our industry. Who has money now? Nobody. But would I ever do it again, guys? Mark my words. I'm gonna go back to that exact resort again. I have no regrets. The only regret was not documenting it. It was a trip of a lifetime and I absolutely loved every bit of it. The other regret, however, that I had was, you know, girl was eating too much at the time and she was going to a dream beach destination. The next time I'm gonna go there, best believe my body is gonna be in top-notch shape, okay? Just saying. I gotta look good in those cute bikinis. So guys, this is just part 1 of today's video. I'm gonna have a continuation of this video in the next video upcoming, so be on the lookout for it. But for now, guys, please drop a comment and let me know how your experiences have been. What have been your best travel experiences? What have been your worst ones? Are you the kind that saves on travel or splurges on travel? Guys, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.